Cut.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
To start our interview, I would like to read this. So, you have been selected to speak with us today because you have been identified as someone who has a great deal to share about workplace theory because of your vast experience as an athlete in soccer at Visayas State University. Our project as a whole focuses on the effects of motor program theories in the athlete's overall performance, and hopefully we can learn about it with your help. So to facilitate our note taking, we would like to record our conversations today. For your information, only this group and the teacher in our Phed 1 to 6 will be able to hear the recording, which will eventually be deleted after they are graded. Essentially, all information will be held confidential. Your participation involuntary, and you may stop at any time if you feel uncomfortable, and we do not intend to inflict any harm to you or anyone else. Do you agree to record this interview, sir?
Yes, no problem.
So, thank you for that, sir, for agreeing to participate. We have planned this interview to last no longer than 10 minutes. During this time, we have several questions that we would like to cover. If times begin to run short, it may be necessary to interrupt you in order to push ahead and complete this line in questioning.
So here is your first question, sir. What did your coach do if you have a difficulty in learning a certain skills in playing soccer?
I think my coach recommended me to have the individual training in order for me to hone my skills at the same time, in order to hone or improve anything that needs to be improved, especially my skills, especially my mentality, in my endurance, in my agility that we develop also in being an athlete or a football player.
Thank you for that. Second question. How will you interpret the feedback that your coach gave to you?
The way I interpret the feedback of my coach is somehow it gives me motivation. At the same time, it builds my confidence and also it builds my character to be a better athlete. I think that kind of recommendation, that kind of suggestion or advice by my coach is part of being a great athlete, a great football player in the near future.
Thank you for that. Last question. Other than your coach, do you consider to find feedback from yourself or peers as well? If so, in what way, and do you find it helpful upon your improvement?
I think how I find it helpful or beneficial to me as well is I find it as what I've said later a while ago about your questions. It will help me to be a better athlete, a better football player. Just like lot of professional football or a lot of growing football athlete decide they have that mentality or they have that perspective wanting for them to improve is first things first is they need to have that building up their confidence, building up their attitude. At the same time later on it will build and hone their skills. That would be all.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. For the open loop theory questions, so here is the first question. In passing the ball, when will you use the instant drive and the push pass?
Okay, so when is the time when I use instant drive and push pass? I think the very important thing in using this kind of skill is, especially in bringing the ball, is the time when you scan or mapping or look for your teammate or look for an open space in order for you to guard the ball or protect the ball against the opponent. So somehow, instant drive can also make you some spaces, or at the same time, instant drive can also make your momentum in order to have a vacancy or open areas for your teammates. That's the time you will use push pass.
So for the second question, sir, upon kicking the ball, how will you adjust the power of your kick to hit the specific target location? And what kind of kick will you use?
A different question. I think in order for me to have the power, or I think in order for me to have that kind of strength in terms of kicking the ball, is somehow if I have that in the right position. Just like an example based on my experience, is the time when I pass or when I kick a ball, is I'll make a space between my body or my position and the ball, just like a half meter or 1 meter in order for me, kung sa Bisaya, makahunat ko sa pati. Kung wala ko sa saktong posisyon, or maybe ulangin akong bola, ang bola akong dili ko right akong pagpati, wala ko sa posisyon na maka-provide ko power sa akong pagpati. So, especially in kicking the ball, I think somehow ang ginagamit na ako pagpati is my instinct or the inside foot. Okay. Usually ang inside foot mo, mga mo, fly ball, ground ball, or makakuan ka, power kick, what you have said in your question. I think
Thank you, sir, for your answer. So for the last question, upon striking the ball to the goal, how will you adjust in terms of sending the ball into your desired corner or spot?
Just repeat your question. Upon striking the ball to the goal, how will you adjust in terms of sending the ball into your desired corner or spot? As what you have stated a while ago about your question, is it needs the position, the distance of your body and the ball, and somehow your momentum or your power when you talk about adjustment, or when you talk about your desired corner spot, it depends on your position of your body in between the ball. Hindi maguga ka specific target na nasa sa kabola kung wala ka sa saktong position, dili ko ka maka point sa sakto na designing mo spot or corner, especially sa mong teammate nga gipasahan kay kung wala sa saktong position imong lawas, dili nimo ma-provide o dili nimo ma-deliver ang bola sa sakto pud nga position sa imong teammate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.